So real estate this year, as you know, it's been quite a bit slower than it's been previous years. Not only have prices kind of given a little bit, they started to tilt down just a little bit. The expected market time in general has also gone up. Inventory levels are very similar to last year's, and demand is also very similar to last year. Interest rates have been generally going up. They just went down a little bit today, which is really nice. They're at 6.69 as of today, which is incredible. But generally, they've spent the last few weeks in the 6.7s to 6.8s. So affordability has been a bit of an issue because prices are high, rates are high. They had gone down earlier this year, but then they went back up. And so all of that together has caused things to slow down. Has caused the expected market time to increase. And with the expected market time increase, more and more people are starting to just, throw in the towel and say, you know what, I just need to move, and adjusting their price. So you'll notice we've seen a lot more price adjustments in the marketplace. Part of that also is a lot of sellers, interestingly enough, have been seeing that trend. And instead of starting high, they've been starting by meeting the market where the market is at, which has been beneficial for the people who have done that. Because statistically, when you start high, statistically you actually sell for less than if you had just started at a market value from the beginning. Now, sometimes people do get lucky, and it's great for those people, but it is a gamble and it is risky to start high just because statistically you do sell for less. What's really interesting is there's a bit of a divide, right? So most homes, just as the market as a whole, things are generally slower, and prices are just really kind of just inching down. But there's a notable difference between single family homes and condos. Single family homes have been barely affected. Their market times are, they are elevated, sure, but condos, it takes an additional 21 days on average for a condo to sell than for a single family home to sell. Now, there's a few reasons for that, but the main one being the median HOA due cost right now is around $500. That's quite a bit of money in addition to your mortgage that you're already paying. So with the HOA dues being generally higher and causing an extra burden for people in their monthly payment, condos haven't been as affordable as they used to be. They used to be considered like entry-level housing. Like you were trying to get your foot in the door, get things started, so you start off with a condo. And then over time, it would appreciate and you'd be able to step up and move on to a single family home. But condos have gone up in value so much that they're barely even entry level anymore. And when you combine that with the added HOA dues, it makes it very difficult for people to justify getting a condo. And so they are much less in demand now in comparison to single family homes. And it's really interesting when you look at the divide of the market time. It's quite dramatic. And it's interesting because the values of condos appears to be going down quite a bit more than single family. Now, every community is different, but I've seen pretty consistently a number of communities that the values of the condos and townhouses have gone down as much as $150,000 since last year, which is that's a big drop. I don't know if that trend is going to continue, and I don't know what the average is across the whole market. I've just seen a number of neighborhoods where that's been the case. With single family homes, I've not seen that. I've seen that maybe they're going down a little bit, but not really. Basically, they're in the same spot as they were last year. Now, for market trends as a whole, that's quite common. Whenever you come up to a correction for the market, condos and townhouses always get hit before the single family homes. So if we are coming up on an actual correction, which that depends on a lot of variables, if that's actually really going to happen. But if you are coming up on any amount of an actual correction, the condos, townhouses will always get hit first, which we are already starting to see, and then the single family. Now, whether or not we'll actually see much of a correction, that's going to depend on a lot of things. It'll depend on if interest rates remain elevated, as well as if inventory starts going up. Now, we don't see high inventory. We see actually generally suppressed inventory. Now, it's higher than it's been the last couple of years, but it's still low. It's still quite low from what it was before COVID. And it's dramatically lower than what it ever was during the whole crash of 08, 09. So we definitely don't see anything supporting a big crash, but maybe things might inch down a little bit. Things might get a little more affordable. So if you're trying to buy or sell, general thing to keep in mind is that it's not looking like there's going to be a big correction. We just don't have the inventory levels to support that. Now, it does look like prices might be going down a little bit in the coming months. It doesn't look like it'll be huge. It'll look like it just might be a small amount, but it'll probably be there, right? No one knows, just projections. We'll see. So if you're trying to sell, know that starting off high may come back to bite you. In fact, most likely, it will come back to bite you. Yes, prices might be going down a little bit, but really maybe you're selling more at a level their home was worth in 2024 instead of 2025. So it's like, maybe it's not the very top of what the home was ever worth, but it is still worth more than it's been for most of its history. You're still, unless you bought it very recently, you're still winning. You're still coming out ahead, and you're still good. So it's definitely not the end of the world. Things are just, maybe it's a little bit less than it was at its very peak. If you're trying to buy, know that you'll have a little bit more opportunities. Inventory is, even though it is suppressed, there are more opportunities than there were just a couple of years ago, which is great. It's still lower than it had been back before all the COVID things, but it's still it's a little bit better than it's been in recent years. So you will also have a little bit more negotiation power because a lot of homes have been on the market for a while. So that's another thing for if you're trying to sell. Expect it to take longer. And so if you're trying to buy, you'll have a little bit more negotiation leverage than you have in years past, which is a win for you. So there's just things to be aware of. If you are wanting to buy or sell and you would like to meet up with me to discuss what you'll be facing, how to mitigate the risks and enhance the opportunities, all of those things, feel free to reach out to me. My information's in the comments below, and I'd love to help you. Bye-bye.